Hey.
Hey, everybody. It's those brown Disney crazed moms, and we're back. And today, as you can see, we have two special guests. Lucky us. So, my name is Tamika. I am the mouth of IT at Tamika Talks. I'm the thought leader at Life and Prompts, where I am based in the Philadelphia area. Today, my scenario behind me is a little different because I am coming to you from Palm Springs.
Rub it in.
Hey, happy Monday, ladies. My name is Danielle, but you guys can call me Danny here. I'm the owner and creator of Della's Jubilation, a lifestyle and entertainment focused site, and I'm based here in New York.
Hi, guys. I'm Tanae. Y'all know that I don't know what my website is. No, I'm the writer at Life with Tanae literally every week. But anyways, I'm the writer at lifewithtanae.com. I am on Instagram and Twitter at Tanae Michelle, where I am based in New York City. And I think that's all I was going to
say. I don't think she's sure. Hi, you guys. I'm Shay. I'm the editor-in-chief of popcornandtequila.com, which is an entertainment blog, and I'm based in New York, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn in the house, baby. Okay, so wait. So before we start, okay, you should stop doing that because that is not good.
Brooklyn.
Yes.
So,
that's not really what it looks like, but okay. So I know people. Yeah, we'll talk about what that looks like later. Anywho,
sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Hey,
got
it.
Yes. So, anywho, as I stated, we have some guests. We heard you guys wanted to see some more faces and some more voices, so we're going to bring you some guests as often as we can. As we always say, if you're interested in coming on the show and joining and chatting with us about what you love about the brown side of Disney, bring it to us. Hit us in the DMs so that we know. But yes, we have someone already on telling us hello. Guys, give Onika a shout out.
Hey, girl.
All right, look at that. All in unison. I love it. All right, let's get it going.
So, what are we talking about? Current events. Coronavirus.
Yes, it is
so
affecting everybody.
4 weeks. You guys probably know that both of the Disneylands in China have been closed for weeks. Since really like the whole outbreak in Wuhan. Now Disneyland Tokyo is being closed temporarily due to coronavirus spreading in Japan. Also, in Disney World, Disney had some employees that visited Italy, and they were actually told to stay home.
Makes sense, though.
They were told to stay home and to not come to work, which is crazy, but when you think about it, it's like, I feel like it's inevitable. Places like Disney World, people are coming from all over the world. Like, somebody at Disney World got coronavirus.
Right, exactly.
I didn't need you to say that somebody at Disney World has the coronavirus, but yes, it's a huge epidemic and everyone's concerned about it. And what I keep saying is wash your hands. Like, let's keep it basic. Wash your hands. That is how disease spreads. And cover your mouth. Like, some of these things I don't feel like it's rocket science, but people are like going crazy about it. So you guys know I'm in California. I was attending an event, which is a large event where normally there are like 20, 30,000 people who attend this event, and they just postponed it because so many people were concerned about coronavirus. Now, it is an issue because I'm in the airport and there were so many people, like there was a guy coughing and people started getting up, moving from. So I'm laughing because I'm like, this is funny. And he doesn't realize that that's why people are moving. But literally, like, you see one by one, every time he went, somebody was, it was so funny. And then it got to the point where he was like on an island all by himself, and he still didn't get it. He wasn't paying attention. It was funny to me. And so somebody had posted where they were talking about just all of the epidemics that we've dealt with throughout the years and kind of what we need to do about it and all of that. And like I said, it starts with washing your hands. Like, people are wearing these masks that do nothing, but I guess it makes you comfortable. I don't know. So yesterday we're in the airport. We're waiting for our baggage claim. And, we're laughing and we're joking. I mean, it's not funny, but we're laughing and joking about it. This man has his daughter. His daughter is literally running her hands along the floor. So on the floor, it looks like glitter, like sparkly. He's on his phone, so he's not really paying attention. And she's like, oh, look, the floor is sparkly. She's like, yeah, the floor is sparkly. She is running her hands on the floor. Guess what she did when she stood up?
Licked her hand.
Lick her hand.
Exactly what she did.
That's what my kid would have did.
Coronavirus,
Yep.
that's how it starts.
Hi, guys.
That's exactly what Zane would have did. He'd have been like, oh, the glue's on my hand now.
Mm-hmm. Every time my daughter comes in, my mom is screaming, "Did you wash your hands yet?" And she's just like, "What did I do wrong?" But she doesn't get that there's a virus going on, and she has to constantly keep washing.
Like, if we practice good hand washing, it's not that big a deal. So
Right.
I always told my children to wash their hands. My daughter sucks her thumb, which I think is disgusting, but I'm always like, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. She's like, I get it. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm like, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, wait, we have some comments. Darlene is saying hi. Hi, Darlene. And she's also saying there have been 2 confirmed cases in Central Florida. Yeah, I mean, it's getting real. I saw that the death toll is up to 5 in Seattle. So, okay.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I saw that earlier today. Yes, Cassie is agreeing with me. Wash your hands, keep them away from your eyes and your mouth. So apparently you guys have a confirmed case in New York City. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
A 30-year-old.
It's a who?
A 30-year-old woman who just got back from Iran, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense. And so I feel like where the cases are going to be larger are going to be in places where people are in and out all of the time. And that's what's happening. Absolutely.
So I'm over here making jokes about coronavirus like I don't work at the airport, and I'll be on here next week like, hey guys, with my mask on.
Don't sit next to me,
that's not doing anything. Okay, let's see. Who else? Yes, Jill, we agree with you. Kids are gross. Yes, but you gotta love them. What can you do? You can't get rid of them. And then, let me see. No. Darlene is letting us know as a nurse, her issue is the mask and gloves, but then they touch their eyes. Right. Like,
exactly.
Yes. And so, like I said, if we start with just good practices in general, then we don't have to be so nervous and scared about it. But Tanae, I think you had a question about Corona and Disney.
So, just my question was like a general question. Is coronavirus going to affect your Disney trip? Personally, until somebody tells me, like, it's going to have to be like all of the cast members at Disney have coronavirus for me to be like, oh, okay, I'll stay home.
Oh, not just one.
She said all of them. That's a lot of people.
You have to just like quarantine them in Cinderella Castle, and then I can go my way throughout the rest of the park.
That's crazy. Because we don't want to go to Cinderella Castle. But okay.
So what about you guys? Is it going to stop you, Danny and Shay? Will it stop you from going to Disney?
I don't know. I was just reading on People magazine that I guess they shut down the Louvre recently, and that there's a ban there where I guess over 5,000 people congregating, they're not allowing. So there are rumors about Disneyland Paris closing. We're trying to take Tristan for his birthday in October, and you know, he has a weak immune system as it is, and I have Crohn's disease, so I'm not sure if I'm trying to be around all the big crowds and stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. And so I think that that's the first thing that we got to look at. I feel like if your immune system is already compromised, then of course you don't want to go in places where there's going to be lots of people, and especially tight places where they're going to be.
Right.
So that's different. I get that. But for people who are generally healthy, I feel like don't buy into the hype. You know, wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
In your mouth. Stop putting them in your eyes. Take your sanitizer. So I have sanitizer in all my bags, and then I have like natural sanitizer, so it's even better for you. So I'm like, calm down, people. There's no need to be in a tizzy. Like, it's totally okay. All right. Let's see. We have some more comments here. Karen is saying yes, she works in the hospital. And they had a meeting today about washing your hands. First of all, I'm a little concerned that at the hospital they tell y'all to wash your hands. It's a big sign. Like, y'all should already know that. And so that is part of the reason why this is spreading. Because things that we know, we are just not doing. No idea why. All right. And we have another comment from Jill, and she's saying that she's in San Antonio, and they have evacuees. Oh, I'm like, what? I can't even say that word. From Wuhan. I don't even know where Wuhan is.
Oh, no, that's China, right?
gonna say that with the Han, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
I mean, people are losing their minds. I bet. I mean, that's a lot to be in San Antonio. And I feel like what's happening is as these cases are growing and growing and growing, the hysteria is coming along with it. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it is not gonna stop me from going. And I told you guys, I am in California. I am planning to go to Disneyland before I get on the plane to head east, unless it's closed. So I might be the only one at the park, and I'm really okay with that.
That's good for you.
Right. Listen, get on all the rides,
Exactly.
do everything, eat all the food. There is no lines.
I just want to see Mater. As long as they let me see Mater and ride the Cars ride, stay on that side. I'm okay. Like, just let me do what I need to do. I just need somebody to press the button so that my ride will work. That's all I need. Easy. I'm easy. I am easy. All right. There were other things happening at Disney World. What else? Come on, tell us.
The Jungle cruise boat sunk. So I'm trying to figure out how this even happened because I didn't really read the article. I just watched the videos and laughed a little bit, like, oh my god! Even though it's not funny, because can you imagine being on that and the boat sinks? Can you imagine being on that for the first time and the boat sinks? Like,
exactly.
Wait, it really sank because I saw like the headline that the water got in, but it sank.
It sank.
Yeah, like it looked like a part of it kind of was detached. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Titanic.
So it's the type of thing where like when you are at when you ride through the safari and you know how they say those jokes like, oh, the bridge is breaking. I'm always like, the bridge is gonna really break. Y'all just don't do that. So when I saw that happening, I was like, I wonder what they were talking about when it happened.
Right. Someone on Twitter was like, oh, well, people want immersive experiences all the time, and now y'all are complaining. Getting what you asked for.
That's too much.
That's a bit too immersive.
I didn't pay for that. I can't swim.
So for me, I would be creeped out because I don't like dirty water. Like I don't like something touching my feet. So that's what would creep me out. I don't even think so much I would be creeped out by the fact that, you know, it's in the water or whatever. I would be more creeped out by the fact that all this water, dirty water, is touching me, and I'm like, okay, what's in this water? Like that's what would get me. Like, you know, the snakes and all of that. That's what would get me because I would be like creeping out. But yeah, who knows? Look, Darlene is planning to go to Disney for the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I was totally trying to make that happen. My family was like, "You're doing too much. Stop."
Your family is they're a little bit on the hater side. They don't ever want to take those extra Disney trips.
Leave me alone. I'm not bothering y'all. Do y'all? Karen, look, you got an invitation. I meant Danny. You got an invitation to go to Disney in May.
I know. I just saw that. We're going to Disneyland. If you guys are going to Mom too, is anyone going to Mom too?
Oh, yes. That's right. Here in LA. Yes.
Right. We
go to Disneyland, right? Is it in Anaheim?
I want to go.
No, it's in LA.
Is it in the city of LA or is it? So you know, Disney is in Orange County, which is so like LA is here and Disney's right here.
That's what they keep telling us.
I don't know.
It ain't that far. Yeah, they said it was like 3 hours. It's not far.
Yeah, it's 3 hours. It is. It's a ways because last time when we were in LA for The Lion King, I didn't have a car, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to Disney. I'm going to Disneyland." And then I went downstairs, and I'm listening to the front desk. He was like, "Well, you can take an Uber, but it's probably a little over an hour and some change." So I put it in the Uber with like $70. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, not going there." Right. So that's why I said, "Where would you guys be?" So that's why I was like, "I have a car, so I've got to take advantage of all of that while I'm here this week." Yeah. But I was told, like, if you could go and make it happen, do it. You guys know I'm all about it. Yeah, so Karen is saying you can take the bus. You can take the bus. There's also, depending on what hotel you guys are at, a lot of times there are shuttles. So that's an option too. But definitely go. I was going, but yeah, I'm not going to Mom too. Although I would come back to LA just to come back to LA because I like LA, but that's just me. You know, any opportunity to get on a plane, I'm all about. But yes, so talking about traveling to Disney. Okay, so Cassie is saying it's about an hour away unless you're in the Malibu area. Okay, right, because she's here in California. So yeah, that gives you guys an idea of what to look for. And then I feel like if it's like a group of you guys, rent a car for the day because it might be cheaper than even just getting an Uber. So you guys will figure it out. But definitely keep us, because I might need you to buy me something to bring back. That's usually the only reason I want to know why people are going to Disney, because I want them to bring me something back. We're talking about traveling to Disney. And one thing that is really drawing people into Disney is the way they're changing their menu.
Right. So in Disney World last year, they introduced 400 plant-based items to their menu, which is really, really impressive. Like I said, I have Crohn's disease, which is an autoimmune disease, and I should be eating more plant-based stuff, but I do enjoy good burgers and all of that. My hubby's a chef, but and he watched the Game Changer documentary on Netflix, which was about plant-based diets and inflammation, and he's got a bad knee, and he's been cold turkey now 6 months, strictly plant-based. He cheats every now and then with like a fish dish here or there. But so in California at the Food and Wine Festival, they introduced a new line of Impossible Food menu. They had the meatball submarine,
Corona,
and Impossible Burger with mac and cheese. Your face. So have you guys tried like the fake meat yet?
So let me say this. Let me
I haven't.
Let me say this.
None?
I will not.
The only reason I eat meat is because I like bacon. I don't like fake bacon. I don't like turkey bacon. I like bacon that was cut from the pig. Okay, that's the only real reason I eat meat. I could do away with chicken. I don't have to have another hamburger, even though that's my son and I's thing. I would be okay not having that. But bacon, like I can't smell it and not eat it. Like that's just how I roll with bacon. However, I believe in a plant-based diet as well as you can make it happen. I just don't do fake meat. I feel like if I'm going to eat meat, I need to eat meat. But I do like at home, I only buy organic meat for that reason, because I'm like, I need the meat to be of a better quality. And when I transitioned my family over to that, I totally saw the difference in everybody, like skin, energy, just everything across the board. You can totally see the difference in when you buy a better cut of meat, and the taste is much better. I promise you that, much better. It's fine for people who like to do plant-based. I just don't like fake meat. And so I've tried. So my aunt, she went vegan, and she was all on this thing, we're breast cancer survivors, and she's my cousin, but I call her my aunt because she's old. But so after she had her bout with breast cancer, she's cut out all the meat, and she's like, you need to do this too. And I said, well, I don't buy into all of that hype. She's like, no, I want you to taste this burger. So she put the burger on the grill. I was like, what is this? I said, I said, I don't want it. I said, no. It was
so you didn't try it?
I bit it. It was disgusting. So because she didn't tell me that it wasn't a real burger. So when I bit it, I was like, what is this? It was disgusting.
Oh yeah, I can tell the difference too.
Absolutely, because it tastes like paper. And then my thing is, like, I think it's great that like fast food restaurants and all of that are recognizing that people want healthier food. Give us better cuts of meat. Stop trying to give us this vegan or this fake meat version, and then you're cooking it on the grill with the regular junk meat. Like, it just doesn't work. What I will say is I do appreciate the way Disney has really changed their menu. So you don't have to go with the Impossible Burgers and all of that, but you can get a really, really good plant-based meal. So when I was at Food and Wine for Epcot, I ate a lot of plant-based dishes that were really good. I mean, really good. And then there were some where the chefs were like, no, this is all organic meat. And you can taste the difference. So I feel like you've got to know what works for you, because what works for you may not work for everyone else. But I encourage people, if you're somewhere and you're curious about it, try it. And a good place to definitely try it is at Food and Wine, because it's a small sample, so you don't got to commit.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. So is there something that you've seen on the menu that you feel like you would try?
Yeah, I would try the petite Impossible Burger with the mac and cheese. I think one of Cassia said that her friend had it and thought it was too much cheese, and somewhere she said she tried something else.
Okay. I think I saw that Tiffany had it also, the Impossible mac and cheese. Okay. Y'all know I don't turn down food, so I try anything anyway.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you have to know who you are. Like me personally, like I said, I would sample it at Food and Wine and some place like that because it's not a lot. Like you're not paying so much money for it. But like for me to go to a restaurant and order that as a full meal that might cost me $30, that's never gonna be me. Like that's never how I'm gonna try it out. Like if we're somewhere and everyone is kind of like tasting it, that's different. But other than that, no, totally not doing that. So Darlene is saying that she lives a ketogenic lifestyle and she's cutting out processed food, lots of dairy, and her inflammation has improved. Absolutely. So the one thing I have not cut out is dairy, but I only drink organic milk. I got the chance to visit Organic Valley's farm. And when I tell you, I believe that was really my step into really being like, okay, I can drink milk. The atmosphere was beyond clean. So we went into one of the barns where they had the cows. And initially, I wasn't gonna go. I was like, I'm not about that life. I don't like dirt. I don't want poop all over me. So when I went into this barn, I cannot believe how clean it was. It's like, this is a barn. And then the way the animals were kept and how they felt about each other. So that's what made me feel okay enough to be like, well, I can drink this grass-fed milk, or I can drink this. They have a new one that I like called Ultra. So I can do that. But other stuff, I'm leery about. So what do you, Tanae, Shay, what do you guys think? What's your take on it?
Oh, well, you guys know I turn down any type of food, so.
She does. Which is
I'll
sad.
try anything.
And I'm the opposite. I won't eat anything.
So you won't? You said you won't try it?
She's so picky. She doesn't eat anything. She doesn't even eat regular food.
Okay, got it. And I can get with that. So I feel like I'm picky too. And I feel like because I've seen the process of the making of some of this is kind of what made me be like, oh, I can try this. This might be okay. So I've been telling like a lot of brands that, I feel like if you put out videos where people can kind of see the process of it, they might be willing to try it. Although, I'm still not eating fake meat. Like I draw the line at that. Like I feel like why bother? But so I feel like if you're gonna go try it out, I think it's great that Disney has recognized that it's a new way of eating and people are more conscious of it and people are demanding it. And I feel like they stepped up to the bar and they did it. And so there's a restaurant at Disney World. I cannot think of the name of it. It is Delhi is what it's called. So it is connected to Coronado Springs, right over there. And so they redid it. I mean, when I tell you it is beautiful, like you sit outside, it's like a beautiful view where you can kind of look over at the park. And my understanding is a lot of people who are just live in Florida just come there to go to the restaurant because the food is so great. They have a lot of plant-based options. And so that is one of the places that people can go and you can use your dining plan to eat there as well. So I've been encouraging some other people who are going to take advantage of some of those options. And the drinks are amazing. Just it's a really great place to get a different type of meal. So definitely. So Althea is saying that she hasn't had pork in 20+ years. Wow. She'll have to see more turkey or plant-based breakfast meat options at Walt Disney World in the future. I'm sure it's coming. I mean, it's coming. Absolutely. But Disney has some great bacon. I know you don't eat pork, but that is some great bacon. So then people talk about that bacon. Like if you like look up pictures of Disney breakfast, you'll see people take pictures of the bacon and they talk about it. Like especially at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I was like, I don't know what y'all put this bacon, whose foot, whose hand, but keep doing it. Like it's so good. It is so delicious. And people recognize that. But last week we talked about the Frozen 2 DVD. Hopefully by now you all have gotten it. You've watched it a million times on Disney Plus. My daughter is almost to the point where she has memorized it word for word. That's the time she's watched it. We actually did a staycation, I guess, if you want to call it that. Where we got in the car and watched it in the driveway, kind of like, we used to do on the road all the time. Yes, my son was like, he called up the school bus. He's knocking on the door. He's like, y'all going somewhere? We're like, no, you want to come watch Frozen 2? He's like, no. So it was great. But what I told you guys last week is that I had 2 copies. So I was giving one away. And the requirement to win was basically you had to tell me what you thought my favorite song was and why in terms of character. So Darlene was the only one who gave me an answer, and it was the perfect answer. So what she basically said is All Is Found. Love, love, love that song. And the character that I loved is the mom. Like, come on, it just totally makes sense. And it was because of the strength that she showed, and the way she encouraged her daughters. And so for me, I have a daughter, and so the conversation the two of them were having was so, what I had with my daughter. And then I also reflected on conversations that I had with my mother and my siblings, and kind of because it's 3 girls, and kind of how we are responsible for one another. We got to look out for one another, and just the importance of sisterhood and that bond. So Darlene, if you would please send me a DM with your mailing address, I will get your DVD in the mail to you as soon as I get back home. Congratulations, and thanks for joining. There will be a lot more giveaways coming. The only way you can win is to watch the show, and whatever the question is, comment. Generally, we'll give you 24 hours to comment, watch, or whatever it is going to be. And we'll let you know on the next Monday who absolutely wins.
Yay.
So congratulations, Darlene.
Congratulations.
Yes, even though Tanae was trying to win, and everyone told her she couldn't.
I was.
They're like, no, you cannot win. But yeah, so talking about shows on Disney Plus, Lizzie McGuire was in the news recently. What are your thoughts on that?
So Hilary Duff is not on the same page as Disney Plus, according to her Facebook. Was it Facebook? Instagram. And she thinks that they should move Lizzie McGuire to Hulu because she thinks that Disney Plus doesn't share the same vision as her. And so basically she wants Lizzie McGuire to be in her 30s and live her real 30s life. And Disney is like, it's a kids platform and it should only be PG. But she wants the alcoholism and the sex in it and just basically 30s life. And they're we not. Sorry. No, yeah. Disney, that's how Disney was like, huh? They were like, no. So she's asking them to move it to Hulu because they also moved Love, Simon.
Which I didn't, we talked about that last week. We still don't know why they did that.
There are movies and stuff on Disney Plus that are rated higher than PG. So I don't understand why Lizzie McGuire can't have a PG-13 rating and still be on Disney Plus.
Right, because when you go on, my daughter has the kids version and I have the regular version. And so when she goes on her version, she can't even get to see Diary of a Future President, which is basically a kid's show. She has to log on to my account to see it. Why can't you just put Lizzie McGuire on the adult account and not put it on the kids account? But they don't want to do it at all. So
that. And I feel so I have to wonder if part of the reason why is because, so the thing about it is, if you think about it, so, Lizzie McGuire is I don't want to say my time frame, probably you guys' time frame because you're younger than me. So it's probably you guys' time frame. And I think that they don't want to make it the current Lizzie McGuire and what's happening because there's a lot happening in the world and it could go a lot of different ways. And so I think that they still want to keep it at what you guys were watching her do then. You know what I mean? And so, so I feel like it's an opportunity to show the reruns and to show kind of here's where she is now.
Why can't they update the show? They've done it with so many other shows. They updated Boy Meets World, and Corey and Topanga had Madison or whatever her name was.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who them people are.
Updated Raven's home, and Raven is grown with her kids. They can do it. They just don't want to. They don't want us to live our best 90s life. That's what it is.
And Hillary is just I'm not watering it down either. So
right.
I think that's what the pushback is.
Got it. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, so since you mentioned Raven, there was some talk about the last episode that aired. It was kind of all over. Did you guys see that? What were your thoughts?
Did you guys catch it last night?
Yeah,
I didn't. I saw a comment on Facebook where a 20-year-old said that he didn't want to see that episode because he got tired of his mom screaming at him about vaping. So he doesn't want Disney Plus bringing it up at all.
Right. Yeah. So last night on the Disney Channel, they aired an episode called "What About Your Friends?" And Raven's son Booker essentially, it's like any other episode we've seen. You're hanging out with your friends and they're like, try this. And there's one kid trying to play it cool, like, yeah, I do this. And he's hacking along on it. And her son's like, oh yeah, you look like you're having a real good time as you cough up along. And he ends up passing it to him, trying to get him to try. And he throws it off to the side somewhere and gets caught by someone that lives in the building. Then they're in the school and they're trying to convince him to try it again. And they hand it to him. And this time the gym teacher comes in. And all of his so-called friends are like, yeah, that's his. He was trying to get us to do it. Really messed up.
Sure.
So
kids are so raggedy.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, according to the CDC, the statistics are 38% of high schoolers and 13% of middle schoolers try vaping at least once. So the episode was geared towards parents from 6 to 14 with kids 6 to 14. A very special episode. Yeah. My kids are 9 and 15, and I haven't really had like a sit down conversation with them. They know drugs are bad. Don't do it. When I learned of the episode, I spoke to my teen and I asked him about vaping, and he's like, yeah, mom, don't worry. He's an athlete. He don't even like taking like children's Tylenol, so I'm not worried about him vaping or anything like that.
So here's the thing, and why you do still need to be worried, because just how simple that was with them smoking it and passing it on to him, and even though he didn't touch it, that's how they get caught up. And so I have this conversation with my children all the time. Hence the reason I love Blackish, because they always bring whatever is relevant and happening. So like we can watch the show together, and at the end of the show we can have a conversation about what's happening. But what's happening with vaping is they are making it like, oh no, it's not bad, it's not a drug.
Right.
So,
there's no caffeine, there's no tobacco.
Drugs, you know what I mean? So now we got to be specific. Stay away from anything that comes out of a pipe. Like, we start breaking
anything smokable.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we have to really, 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 really start breaking things down so that our children understand, because, just think about it in other things where they're like, don't give it a nickname, call it the real name. So we've got to be specific, because, the friend might be like, oh, you want to blow on this bazooka? You know what I mean? Like,
it's called mods, pods.
Right. Yes. And then
it's got all kind of names.
How prevalent it is when you're just walking down the street. Like the last time I was in New York, it's like every store has come in here and buy your jewel pods. So it's like cigarettes. So if you're just saying stay away from drugs, drugs are legal, they're like, well, they're selling this in the store, so it must be legal. So that's why I'm like, no, we still have to have these and I have them all the time. And my son is like, I got it, mom. I'm like, no, I need to make sure you got it.
I'm gonna say it again until you understand.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, so I know a bunch of people that do smoke
the
jewels. They come in flavors, and that's what kind of scared me when I realized, like, they're mango and strawberry, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like it tastes good. Wait, hold on. But I don't smoke at all, so it's like I wouldn't even try it. So I feel like growing up with peer pressure in school and middle school and high school, your kid has to be like firm into no peer pressure whatsoever. Or that mango scented thing that's floating around in the air is going to get them.
It's a fruit. It's okay. I'm telling you. Like, I remember there was a time we were in Miami, and where we were, there was like happy hour going on or whatever, and the girl is walking around giving people. It looks so they were scented. It looked like a regular pen, and she was like, "Oh, hey, we have scented flavored." She called them scented flavored glow sticks is what she called them. And she was like, oh, it's relaxing and it gives you a scent. So she gives it, we're all sitting at the table. So she gives it to the girl and she's like, oh, well, let me try it. And I was like, that's not just blowing air. And so like, oh, well, yeah. Then she starts adding to it. And so I feel like, they're doing whatever they can to trick people up into trying this. And it doesn't matter that you see people on the news like every other day who are in the hospital because all this stuff is going on, with their lungs. So Darlene is saying that she is a firm believer in showing her kids the consequences of their actions. She's quick to pull up a pair of vaping lungs and explain to them what happens to their bodies. Absolutely. Yes, we definitely have to do that. And then we gotta like stay on the edge and figure out what they're calling it. Because a lot of people aren't calling it vaping because they know it's in the news and it's bad. So they're calling it other things. So that's why we want to make sure that, we're having these conversations with our kids and we're in the midst of what's going on. So I'm friends with half of my kids' friends. Half of them follow me on Instagram. They be DMing me all kind of stuff, saying whatever. I'm like, yeah, girl, what you up to? Where you at? Yeah, what you doing? Because you might.
So when they post that snap, you can see it. Be like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Know it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm the cool mom. Yeah, believe that if you want. Yeah,
right. I'll tell your mama tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah. So look. Also, Karen is saying that the flavors are actually illegal in New York City.
They are.
And if you see it, report it. Yeah, I didn't know that. To me, it's all bad. Like I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
The way these lungs are set up regularly, I'm not smoking anything.
I know that's right, and I feel like that's something that other people need to think about. I mean, I think it was great that Raven used her platform to make it known because oftentimes, a lot of times, these shows are afraid to really tackle these issues. And we got to realize that sometimes our kids don't want to listen to us, but they will listen.
Yeah,
to people that they feel like they know on these shows. So, I feel like it's a good catch for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk about this short with The Simpsons. What's that all about?
So you guys know when you go to see a Pixar movie, everybody loves to see the shorts. Everybody.
Okay. That's right. You got to pick your seats.
Yeah. You have to. That's like the one movie that I don't skip the previews for because I need to see the shorts.
Yeah.
Apparently, the short for Onward is a short of The Simpsons. It's like all about Maggie, which I do love Maggie. She is so cute.
Everybody loves Maggie.
But that's not what I'm going to see. Where is my Pixar short?
Right. I'm like, is Simpsons Pixar now?
Listen.
Well, they joined Disney. Was it Disney Plus that they joined? But Pixar?
So I feel like that was just your hint to let you know what's getting ready to come up. You know how they do? They give you a soft intro to let you know. Don't be surprised when we announce and say that here's what the next thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Tiffany said Maggie talking yet. Is Maggie talking in the short?
You know what? I have not. We'll find out tomorrow, I guess. But
I actually did not see the beginning, the short. We literally just kind of rolled into the screening of Onward. So I will give you guys a brief because I don't want to give any spoilers because I know the movie does not come out until this week, and I know that you guys are screening it in New York tomorrow. So there was a lot of concern about whether or not small children should see the film. I really think, and I say this probably about every movie that I see, I feel like it is about the conversation that you have with your children. If your children are aware that people die, and you're not giving them cute answers about where, like, oh, when they died, oh, this happened or that happened. If you're real with them, it's totally fine. And I'm not saying that it's gruesome and they're like, oh, well, he had a disease and it went through his body. No, it's not like that. So ultimately, the show really talks about the importance of family. And in their case, it was more brotherhood and how you should be able to depend on one another, how you support one another through the good and the bad times. Yes, they were ultimately trying to bring the father back because you see the pants. I won't tell you whether or not they were successful or what happened in that piece, but I do think it is great to see and the great power and believing in yourself and your ability and what you can do with it. So I highly encourage everybody to go see it. Don't let the fact that it does talk about death, but it doesn't talk about death in a sad way. And I often feel like if we celebrated death the way we celebrated life, people would not feel so bad about it. And I'm not saying when someone dies, be like, yeah, they died. Woo! No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that ultimately we know what happens. It is the cycle of life. People are going to die. And I feel like the hope is that when they're at that point, when they are transitioning, they've lived a filled life so that there's no real reason to be sad. You can say, you know what, this person was here and they did these things. And so I feel like and onward, that's what they talk about, where they're like, you know what, he was here and he did all of these great things. It's kind of like, well, I don't want to be sad because look at everything that he did and everything I got to do with him. So I totally encourage you to go see it. I think it'll make a great conversation piece for you and your children.
Witchcraft.
And I hope you say witchcraft. I can't with you. I mean, the reality is, let me say this. So cartoons are witchcraft. That's why you like them, because they can do what's not real. And so
I don't know.
I like
I
that.
don't know.
I like
My
witches.
9-year-old is super sensitive. So the idea of being able to bring someone back, like and pants, I don't know. But we'll see. We're open-minded. I talked to him about it yesterday and said there's going to be discussions about death, and you know, he gets that. But I just didn't want him thinking, you know, obviously we can't bring anybody back. Like, that's not happening.
I mean, but if you watch Sabrina,
right.
Sabrina?
it's some wit.
I'm like, my 9-year-old.
No, not the 9-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't. So I feel like it is. Yes, it's like sorcery, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it's still about a cycle of life. I mean, so I'm not going to say much more because then I'm going to be giving you more to the movie. So I want you to see it, and then I want you to tell me if you still feel like it's about witchcraft. Yes, they are trying to bring the dad back. They're like, oh my God, we got the pants. We got to get the rest of him. Yes, that is what's happening. And we know that in real life, that does not exist. And I feel like
I get you.
Say that again?
No, I'm like, wait, I get you, Onika. I get you. She's like, oh, I get her. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. So I feel like
I get it too. There's unicorns and stuff that like aren't real. So
exactly. I mean, you think about half the things our children believe in aren't real. Like let's call it
right.
You know what I mean?
With Disney and Princess and the Frog.
Right. So I feel like within the grand scheme of things, we all know that it's not real, right? But it's like, what if in my mind I believe that I can do these things and make these things happen? It's okay. And I feel like that's what it's about. It's about, believing in whatever your higher power is, you believe in that. And, it's the type of thing, like, think about how what we say to people oftentimes when someone passed, we're like, yes, they're physically not here, but their memory will always live on. So that's what it reminded me of. Just kind of, like, yes, someone has transitioned. And yes, you're sad because you can't hold them in the physical, but you'll always have your memories. I'm telling you, go see it. You guys are gonna be like, oh, okay.
So Danny, I'm curious.
Yep.
Since we're talking about Pixar movies and death, I just randomly thought of Coco.
Yep.
Randomly took you a while.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was a hard one. I mean, because like I said, we've had a lot of death in our family. So and Disney don't do well with us. Like, I just want to go see a Disney movie and be happy. I don't want to cry about someone dying. Like, sometimes, you escape and you go to the movies and you want to it's escapism. You want to be happy. Yeah. I don't associate or don't really want to associate Disney and the death stories. Like, Bing Bong, he cried over Takashi dying in Big Hero 6. Like,
I don't get it, because I tell you, my kids are sensitive, so RJ still doesn't watch the part of The Lion King where Mufasa dies. Actually,
that's hard to watch.
A little bit back. But the scene of Beauty and the Beast where the townspeople were like storming the castle and he thought that they were gonna kill the beast, he cried about that for like an hour. Like, he doesn't watch the boat scene in Frozen. Like, he's really sensitive to death also. So
you said he'll grow out of it.
Yeah, that's how Raya was a couple of years ago. Like, she would be so scared, she'd hide. And then she watched Frozen 2 a while back. She was fine. She watched something else, Toy Story 4, with them creepy
Frozen
dolls.
2, did she realize that Olaf died in Frozen 2?
Yeah, because she was talking about it the other day. She was
I'm
like,
pretty sure that
he came back.
Completely went over my kid's head.
Right.
Bambi's mom.
Yeah, so I mean, but we have to realize that it is the cycle of life, right?
Yep.
Right.
So, like, unless
but
we're
you don't want to go to the movies and have to explain to, like, everybody gonna be crying because I'm gonna be crying. Now they want to know why I'm crying.
Right.
Okay, so listen, you are gonna cry because it's emotional.
No, I'm not trying to cry.
That oftentimes it elicits feelings for something that has happened in your life, right? So you're gonna cry because that's just who we are. We're human, so we're gonna cry. But the way it ends, it kind of is like, oh, okay, it's okay. You know what I mean? So I feel like, especially because your children have siblings, except for you, Shay. I feel like it shows them. Oh, she does?
She do. We don't talk to her, but she
RJ and
has. Right.
RJ and Zane.
Okay, so now she has 4. Cool.
Okay, whatever. However you want to get them, it's fine.
End game.
No, but I feel like it becomes a thing of them realizing the importance of their bond. And it doesn't have, and I don't even want to say it has to be about siblings. So like I have friends that I have that same type of bond with. We're just not blood related, but you wouldn't know it. Like that's the only thing that separates us, the fact that we don't have a connected relative. But I love them and I go to bat for them no less than I would for my own sister. So I feel like it reminds you of that type of thing, you know. And if you don't want to call it valuing sister and brother, you can call it valuing friendship, because ultimately that's really what it's about. Supporting one another, being there, and not making it about me. Like, no, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. It's like, let me bring you along and pull you up too. So it's a really great message. And I encourage you, like I said, go sit with your children and have a conversation with them. The only reason why the death part is sensitive is because as you're watching it, you just have this hope. Like, yes, they're going to win. 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 And then when it doesn't turn out how you in your mind, like it's a Disney movie, it got to turn out like this. That's when you're like, oh. But then as it goes on and the story is developed, you're like,
life lesson.
Wow. Okay. So yes, go see it. I'm not going to give you guys any more spoilers, but go see it. And what we'll do is next Monday, we'll bring it back up. You guys can tell me what your thoughts about it is, and we can totally talk about it. So Anika is saying, do we go to Disney movies to learn life lessons or to laugh and be entertained? I like to do both.
Life lessons.
Right. So what are your thoughts, guys?
I mean, I think I've noticed that over the last couple of months, they have really, really like shifted into straight life lessons. Like it's cute and it's haha, but it's also here's a lesson, here's a lesson, here's a lesson. It's not about pins. No.
Right. Okay. So, Danny and Tanae, what are your thoughts? Are you going to the movie for life lessons or to be entertained?
Both.
I would like to be entertained, but you should know if you're going to see a Disney Pixar movie, it's going to be lessons.
Right.
Lessons on lessons.
Yeah.
And why not have a life lesson and laugh? We don't do enough of that in the world. So I'm all for it. I think it's great. I am all for any movie that I can leave and we can have a conversation about it. A meaningful conversation about something that maybe not today they're experiencing, but later in life they're going to experience. And I feel like what's happening, and just children across the board, is they're not as resilient as we are. And I don't know if it's because we're holding their hand. We're like, oh no, we can't do that. We gotta make these kids tougher, because listen, the world is not easy. It is not soft.
Kristen Bell said that when we went to the Frozen 2 junket. She said that she wanted her kids to see darker movies because it helped transition into the conversation of what's going on in life.
And you got to think about it. So because we're not having these conversations, that's where you get these children who feel like oftentimes, you know what, I don't know how to handle this. So the end result is maybe I need to end my life. Well, you don't ever want that to be what you're
shoot the school up.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So I feel like that's the reason why we have to have these movies and we have to talk about it. And that's why I continue to watch shows. And I love how, like I said, they did with The Raven, Blackest, even Mixers is trying to, hit up some topics. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Exactly. So I feel like these are the shows that we need more of. Yes, we can still laugh and be entertained, and everything doesn't always have to be dark, but the world is not always sunshine. Like right now it's dark here where I'm at. So we got to realize that that's just what's happening in the circle of life. Yes. Yeah. So Darlene is saying that Disney movies are notorious for sadness and life lessons. Absolutely. Like, I think it is what it is. If you're looking for something that is gonna always be bright. You just want to go see a comedy, is what you want to see. And I don't know that they're always like the best, but that's just me. Well, guys, it looks like we are at the end. Do you guys have anything you want to add? Any questions you want to ask? Anything of that nature? As for those of you who are watching, we want to thank you for being here with us. If you have any final thoughts, please feel free to leave them below, and we will read them as we see them.
Darlene's still crying over Endgame. Look at us reading all the comments now.
Okay.
Darlene's still crying about Endgame. Tiffany didn't know Olaf died.
Right.
You have something, Danny?
No, I was saying we ruined it for Tiffany with Olaf dying. She got to watch Frozen 2. He ain't dead.
Did you not watch Frozen 2, or did you just not realize also, like RJ, that Olaf died?
No,
well, you gotta realize the way they played it in the movie is not like he died, though.
Right.
So you gotta realize. So here's my question: how do you know he died?
Right.
He died.
How do you know he died?
Sorry, Tiffany.
No. Listen, water has memory. So why would he die?
So so maybe he's dead and he's just a memory now.
Okay. If you say so. Wait until Frozen 3 when he pops up.
Right. But he came back already.
Right.
He was just gone for like a little bit.
The whole movie.
Yes,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely.
I've seen it already. I know.
Totally go watch it again and then let us know your thoughts. I don't think Olaf is dead.
I haven't seen it. Oh my gosh.
He's alive.
Disney Plus account.
Well, guys, I am signing off because I've got things to do. It has been a pleasure chatting with you all. We will totally see you guys next Monday, same place, same time. And as always, if there are topics or things that you want us to discuss, please feel free to DM whomever you'd like. And we will be back to you next week. We did see that last week someone asked about the Disney cruise. What we'll do is we'll bring you some information about that. I think I'm probably the only one who's been on a cruise. So I will bring you the information that I have all about the cruise.
I was on a cruise.
And he's like,
I said, wait, no, I was on a Disney cruise.
You were on a Disney cruise with me?
No, you said you was the only one that been on a cruise in general, or just
Disney cruise?
No, I'm like, I've been on the cruise, not a cruise.
So the Statue of Liberty cruise count.
But I'm only right. No. We're talking about a Disney cruise, not no other cruise. So I will get some information and I'll bring it to you guys what I have. She's going on June 1st. Let me know what ship you're going on, and I can really give you more detailed information and kind of give you some tidbits.
Let me know if I fit in your suitcase.
right?
Yeah, because there's some things that you really want to do and plan out before you actually set foot on the ship. But we'll talk about that next week. I'll make sure that there's some details for you guys to have that. But if nothing else, guys, I bid you farewell. I can't even get my words together now. I bid you farewell, and I will see you guys online and in our space and all of that. Thanks for joining. Bye, guys.
Bye. Tiffany with Samantha.
Samantha. Oh my God.
Samantha.